قل الحق من ربكم ومن شاء فليؤمن ومن شاء فليكفر إنا أعتدنا للظالمين نارا أحاط بهم سرادقها وإن يستغيثوا يغاثوا بماء كالمهل يشوي الوجوه بئس الشراب وساءت مرتفقا. Suratul-Kahfi, Surah number 18, ayat number 29. And Kul say, Al-Haqqu mi Rabbikum, the truth is from my Lord. Faman, so whosoever, Sha'a would have wanted, Fal yu'min, then he should believe. Waman, and whoever, Sha'a willed, Fal yakfur, then he could disbelieve, that is, let him disbelieve. Indeed we actually. Atadna contains we, so we don't need not repeat the we. And this concept we have explained before. So indeed, Atadna, we have prepared lizalimina, especially for the wrongdoers, naron, a fire. Now the next part, you cannot just directly see the screen and interpret. So ahata would be he has surrounded, it has surrounded, have surrounded bihim, in on them. So the people who are thrown into the hellfire, it's talking about that. Suradikuha, its canopies. So now the wrongdoers are thrown into the hellfire, and then what it says, ahata, it has surrounded bihim, in on them or around them. And what has surrounded? Suradikuha, the canopies of fire, of the fire. So it's canopies, right? So when we're translating this, we can translate whose canopies, Suradikuha, we can translate it first, whose canopies have surrounded ahata bihim, in on them, around them. So that connotation, that's why we have translated like this, which is okay. And then we have wa, and in is if, yes tagithu, so they seek relief in the form of rain. So both the meanings we have captured, the primary as well as the secondary. So, and if they seek relief in the form of rain, what will happen? Yugathu, they will be relieved by being rained upon. It's a satire. It's you will see. They will be relieved by being rained upon. Bima, in, with water. Kal muhli, like the molten metal. Now, muhli can mean different things: molten metal or molten alloy, molten copper, molten lead, molten lava, boiling oil, or pus. All of these can be implied. So we have just taken one translation, molten metal. Then what does it say? Yashwi, it scalds. He scalds, or it scalds in this case. Al-wujuha, the faces. It scalds the faces. Some people have translated their faces, but the word there is not there over here. So we just translated which scalds. Instead of it scalds, because it's a continuation, sentence is a continuation, which scalds the faces of the occupants. They are not even being treated as humans now. So there, it's not even mentioned. So as if the identities are being separated out. Non-entity, sort of that sort of debasing terminology is being used. And then the final part is bi'sa. It's an expression, you can say, is how bad. Asharabu is the drink. Bi'sa, you can have different adjectives for bi'sa. Bad, evil, other, whatever you can associate with drink, dreadful, whatever. It's okay translation. Was sa'at, and how very evil. So sa'at is a stronger sort of expression than bi'sa. Both are negative. And how very evil. Murtafakan, and how very evil is it as a resting place. Now, resting place is wrong, but I did not find any other way to represent this. This word has occurred, I mean, the root word, mirfaqan, I think, was used in verse number 16. Rafaqa, the same root word. Rafaqa, mirfaqan is derived as murtafaqan is derived. Murtafaqan is an ism, dharf. So what is, so there we had translated, I think, about, I mean, that was in the context of them deciding to head towards the cave, and then they suggesting amongst themselves, one of them suggesting to the rest of his friends that, okay, Allah will make it comfortable. Not just comfortable, as if, and what can you expect in a cave? As if you'll have a pillow to sort of rest. So that sort of comfort you will get there. In a similar context, murtafaqan is used. Now this is, I mean, most of the translators, they translate something like a resting place, something similar. It's an ism zarf actually, which means a place and time of rest, or place and time of comfort, right? To lean back on a pillow. So the same word pillow is coming back again. But this place, this is this is in a mocking manner. This is a mockery, satire. I don't know if satire is the right word over here. Anyway, so how very evil is it as a, again, instead of evil, you could use other words, bad, terrible, whatever. But the point is, bi'sa and sa'at, you should ideally not translate the same adjective, though it would be an okay translation, but you should use two different adjectives, and the second one is stronger. So both are negative, but the second one is stronger. That's why first time I've used bad, and the second time I've used evil, and further strengthen it by the use of very, very evil is it as a resting place, or place and time of comfort. So the place as well, and the time. So in this context, I had explained in one of the previous verses that when you are there, except for Allah SWT, there is no refuge. The same additional connotations, whatever we discussed. So this is another thing, but the same sort of expansion of this concept is required, or place and time of comfort, to lean back on a pillow. Nothing of the sort you'll get, but rather it is very evil. So that is what is being discussed over here. The verse itself is not very difficult. It's an imagery. You can as if almost visualize in front of you. This is part of the message, by the way, which we are continuing. Verse number 27, 28, 29. We have reached the third verse of the message, intermediary message 1, or message number 2 in this surah. So it says, وَقُلِ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ, and say the truth is from your Lord. I mean, let's read the entire Arabic and then the entire English. And if I don't think I've missed anything. I mean, it's a satire, basically, the middle part. Let me explain that. Whose canopies is, so what do you say? The cover of a tent, like that. So the fire will surround them, surrounding on them. They will be all around them. So what of the fire? The canopies of the fire. So you'll have a tent, imagery of a tent, but that is made of fire and surrounding and on them. So that sort of dreadful imagery is being put up over here for the residents of the fire, right? So again, the word scalds, I mean, we could use potentially different words as well, but this scalds word is the most appropriate. You could perhaps use roasted or grilled or burnt, but scalds is more sort of befitting the translation which is suggesting. Again, molten metal, so alloy, copper, lead, lava, boiling oil, pus, of course, all of these are applicable, but we stick to one translation. Again, they ask for relief, they seek relief in the form of rain. They will be relieved by being rained upon with water. But what is that water like? Like the molten metal. So very, very strong imagery is being mentioned over here. Okay, so let's read it once more in a free-flowing running translation. وَقُلْ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ وَقُلْ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ إِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا لِلظَّالِمِينَ نَارًا أَحَاطَ بِهِمْ سُرَادِقُهَا وَإِنْ يَسْتَغِيثُوا يُغَاثُوا بِمَاءٍ كَالْمُهْلِ يَشْوِي الْوُجُوهَ بِئْسَ الشَّرَابُ وَسَاءَتْ مُرْتَفَقًا. Again, I have not used the tajweed rules. I've broken it down. So I'm basically following grammatical rules over here, so that's easy for us to understand. And say, the truth is from your Lord. So whosoever would have wanted, then he should believe. And whoever willed, then he could disbelieve, or let him disbelieve. Indeed, we have prepared specially for the wrongdoers a fire, in reference to the hellfire, whose canopies have surrounded in on them. And if they seek relief in the form of rain, they will be relieved by being rained upon with water like the molten metal, which scalds the faces. How bad is the drink, and how very evil is it as a resting place. So with the background information in the brackets, if you have read this, then it's okay. Otherwise, the full thing is what we need to keep at the back of our mind. I think I missed one point. Sha'a is a very common term. Inshallah, from there, we get this term. I mean, Shah is a word by itself. So you would have noticed, I would have translated the first time as wanted and the second time as willed. So inshallah, we usually translate if Allah wills. So it is actually if Allah willed. So in a running translation, so the past tense is for certainty. The past tense is sometimes used because present future is something that has not already happened. So it's open to in terms of the outcome, right? So with Allah, everything is certain. So that is why inshallah, if Allah willed. But that is the language used, but the implied meaning is in the present, or rather future tense in this case. So for Allah we use willed or wills, but here for those who want to believe, we have used the word want, and whosoever would have wanted, then he should believe. And the second time we have willed, because this is sort of in challenge to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your will versus Allah's will. So I've translated, and whoever willed, whosoever and whoever, just a use of, it's a matter of preference. So for how it sounds in the English language, nothing else. And whoever willed, then he could disbelieve. And you could also translate, and whoever willed, then let him disbelieve. It doesn't impact Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala one bit. I think that's it then. We'll continue with verse number 30 in the next session.